Hi, my name is Lexi, and this is my second TED Talk for my MBS TED class. And this video is going to be about Brene Brown's TED video, The Power of Vulnerability. And this topic was interesting to me because I feel vulnerable all the time. And I know that a majority of people, whether they want to admit it or not, feel vulnerable, feel the same way I do. When they get into new situations, they feel uncomfortable and vulnerable, and they want to be back in their comfort zone. And Brene Brown's video summed up this entity of vulnerability and how we need to embrace it. Otherwise, we won't be able to embrace ourselves and experience the pure joy of living our lives day to day. She started talking about connections and how connections are what give our life meaning and a purpose. And I totally agree with that because from day one, we're already making connections. When you're born, you've got a connection to your parents, to your family members. As you go through school, you've got connections to classmates and teachers. And as you grow up, you not only have the opportunity to foster those relationships and connections, but you have the ability to create new ones and experience brand new things that you weren't able to before. She followed up this idea of connection with an idea that really struck me, because she said that there was an unnamed thing that completely unraveled connection, which means that there's something that completely unravels what gives our life a purpose and a meaning, which I think is kind of scary. But she said that this thing was vulnerability and our ability to feel vulnerable and shy away from vulnerability. She says in order to make these connections, we have to really allow ourselves to be seen, and not be seen in the sense of like walking into a room and being like, hey guys, I'm here, I'm ready to party, but being seen as in showing your personality and showing what you love and what you like to do. Because when we feel vulnerable, we tend to kind of crawl back into our shells and not express who we are, in fear that we aren't going to make those connections with people, that there isn't going to be anyone else like us, that no one else is going to experience the joy we feel with certain ideas or certain, television shows. When we're vulnerable, we try to be something we aren't. And I can speak from experience. A couple of days ago, I was invited to see a soccer game in a city 2 hours away with people from my job that I barely knew. And I was stressed beyond belief because I wanted to go, but I didn't know these people really well, and I kind of identify myself as a bit of a nerd. I like watching sci-fi. I love Doctor Who, and these kids weren't like that. But I didn't want to just not go. I didn't want to not have this experience, so I went, and for the first little bit, I was very quiet. I didn't speak that much. I was afraid that these kids weren't gonna connect with me, and I wasn't gonna connect back with them because we were too different. When I finally decided to open up, when I decided to embrace my vulnerability, I had the best time of my life. It was amazing, and I've made friendships and connections that hopefully last a while. If not, then I'll be sad because I had so much fun. But when I was finally able to embrace my vulnerability, my differences, our differences, it didn't matter. We all had fun. It's not like we bonded over sci-fi and Doctor Who, but I got over those vulnerabilities and was able to enjoy myself in a situation that I wouldn't have been able to enjoy myself in if I had not decided to step out of my comfort zone. Brene said that our connections are a result of authenticity, which again I completely agree with. Because when you're being authentic and you're presenting yourself in the best light and you're projecting yourself as just who you are, the people that you make connections with are going to be there for a lifetime. They're going to know exactly who you are and they're going to love you for exactly who you are and nothing else. When you're presenting yourself as something different, as somebody different than who you accepted yourself to be, when you're finally able to embrace your vulnerability and say, hey, this is actually not who I am, this is not what I believe in, those people might not be there for you. I hope they are, because they'd be crappy friends anyway, but it happens. But the people who are there for you, who love you for who you are the connections that Brene is talking about when she says that connections are the purpose for our life. Making connections gives our life meaning and the ability to continue making those connections and embracing our vulnerability is how we make ourselves better, make ourselves happier, because connections is truly what makes us the individual that we are. So thank you for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you.